What's up everybody, my name's Scott, and in this video I'm setting up this number 6 fly fishing rod for my son, and it's about 6 foot length. This is going to be a good rod for my son to learn on. The next thing you got to do is figure out the condition of the line. Fly line is relatively thick, come off the spool straight and loose. This line is old and dry and it's gotten some memory in it. When you try to cast this line, it will spool up and you'll get loops, and if you get a bunch of these loops, they won't pull through the eye. So this rod needs new line. It's set up for my son for not much money. I went to Portland, and then we're going to use their Fair Play trout line. So this is weight forward, 5-6 reels, and it's a floating fly line. So it's pretty much a basic fly line you're going to get on anything. This fly line is $16 on Walmart.com. This whole setup, the rod and reel were free. I'm going to spend $15 on line, and I think I spent $4 on backings. My son's going to have his very own made in the USA fly fishing rod. I don't think you can do any better than that. The first thing we got to do is just strip all this line off. There's a knot in there we'll have to cut in there just from years of it being used. I'm going to get some acetone and wash this thing out. This one will be, I think, a lot better just because it's lighter and slightly smaller. It should help balance the rod a little better. So I'm going to set this one up, and I'll save this one for some of the other rods that I have. Because this one's a smaller diameter, I don't think we're going to need much backing. I do need to change this guide plate over to left-hand retrieve. And to change these guide plates, you just take these screws out and then you just reorient it to be on the correct side. Once both the screws are started, you can go ahead and tighten them up. There's a small latch right here on some of these. You'll depress that and that'll allow you to take the arbor out, and there's the click paw mechanisms. Now these can be changed orientation to determine how much pressure is on. So on this one, you get a light click when you're reeling, but a slightly harder click when the fish would be taking drag. So that's how you set it. And you can add a second one, or you could switch the orientation to kind of change how much drag this reel has. But it's very basic and it'll be easy for a beginner to learn. This Cortland Fair Play line, one of the disadvantages that makes it a little difficult is there's no welded loops on it, and it doesn't come on a spool, so you kind of have to have some space, and it's going to be a little finicky to spool on. But they do come with this tag end that basically says, you know, this end goes to the backing or this end goes to the spool. And the reason they do that is because this particular fly line is weight forward, so it's going to be heavier and thicker on the running end of the line. So I'm going to feed this line down through the guide plate. I've got the line fed into the guide plate. I've got 2 loops down there around the arbor. First thing you do is you just put an overhand knot in the end of this. You need to take the running line and you're going to tie an overhand knot around the running line essentially. So it should look like that. This is the running line, this is the line coming off the spool, and I've tied a overhand knot around it. So when you cinch this down, this will self-tighten around the arbor. This tag end, you're going to want to clip it off. Now that that tag end is clipped off, you can just work it down, and that arbor knot will self-tighten down there. I'm going to reattach this to the rod here to make it easier. So I've got the line tied to the spool, I've got the line running out the guide. I'm going to hold it out with this hand to put some tension on it, and I'm also going to be working the line back and forth as I'm reeling it with my fingers here, and you're going to try to lay that on as smooth as you can so it's all nice and flat. Which this line is, you know, it's fly line, it's relatively thick, so detangling fly line usually isn't too tricky. So this line is weight forward, which means that towards the running end of the line, it thickens up and it gets heavier, and that helps you cast it. I just got this line because it's pretty versatile and it's easier to cast longer distances for beginners. So once you start getting to that thick piece of line, that means you're getting close to the end, and your reel should be about spooled full. This reel is not going to need any backing. It's going to be full with just the main line. You gotta wait for the line, you gotta pause. Ready?
I really want to learn how to fly.
Reeling in. Well, we'll practice. And this rod, see when I'm moving it? Look up top there. See how the rod is just doing that and that and that. That's it. And then you cast. No, you got to pull the line in. You're not going to be. Pull some line in. No, it's just with this. Okay. Hold it in that hand. Okay, so now you hold it there. Ready? There. And no, there. And there. And let go. Well, next time. Ready? There. Cast. See? See how I took the line out? Oh, no. You strip it. When you're stripping it back in, strip it in over here. And then you strip it, let go. And you strip another line in, and then another one. Okay, yep, right there. Okay, no. Okay, now you're back to casting. No, you don't let go yet. These are called floss casts. And then...
Here, Dad.
You're the one who's doing it.